When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech for Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech for Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome everyone to the Tech for Troops Cup Series, and we are at the final race of our first round of playoffs. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. I'm Rick Souza here with my co-broadcaster, John DeRudris. And John, we are at Kansas Speedway for the cut race in the first round.
We are, and this race, I think, is the perfect race for the final race in this round. It gives you everything that you want, and we know that these racetracks here have been all over the board, from road courses to super speedways to short tracks. Kansas is the perfect place to figure out, okay, who can move on to the next round. It gives you everything you want. And so I'm really excited to be at Kansas for this race. I think it's going to be a very competitive one. We've come to Kansas in almost every single series that we broadcast, and it's always a good show. Last spring, it was a fantastic race, a huge car count, a full field. Tonight, we're looking at about 31 to 32 drivers, so still an amazing field to be a third of the way through the playoffs. But, Rick, I think this is going to be a fun one tonight.
Absolutely. So let's take, you mentioned the playoffs. Let's come up with the driver standings right now. There we are, round of 16 after last week's road course in Chicago. Worrell and Peters have won their way into the next round. Nathan Harper, Chuck Van Scoik, James Lowe, Aiden Lucas with Buller, Justin Horton, Sammy Harrell, and Ty Bosick are north of the cut line. But right there you can see Christoph Hall, Chris Howell, John Ledger, Scotty Grove, Mike Slagter, Cody Sturgill. They're nearly all of them within striking distance.
Yeah, I mean it's close, and I think the real battle is going to be between Justin Horton, Sammy Harrell, Bostic, Christoph Hall, and below that cut line. Looking at Nathan Harper, even Chuck Van Scoik, he would have to have.
What's that? Lost you there for a second, John. Well, I think John's microphone has dropped out. Wait, you're back. We lost you.
Weird. I don't know what that was. But no, pay attention to Scotty Grove. He's been fast. Same with John Ledger, Christopher Howell. All these drivers have been very consistent on the 1.5 miles. So expect that cut line to be very, very tight at the end of this race.
All right. So speaking of Scotty Grove, that's who's on track right now, getting his qualifying laps in. And while he's on track, let's take a look at the race info for today's race.
Let's do it. So we're at Kansas Motor Speedway, and Kansas Speedway, 125 laps, pit road speed at 45 miles an hour. No quick repairs, 3 sets of tires, 60% fuel, 3 green-white checkers, and a track temp of a lovely 74 degrees. So very, very nice here. A lot of overcast and cloudy skies. 60% fuel, we're probably looking at somewhere roughly between, I would say, the 36 laps here on a tank of gas. So definitely going to have to come down pit road multiple times. But that's our track conditions right here, as we have just a few minutes left of qualifying, about 1.5 minutes to be exact. And we have our somewhat typical suspects at the top of the board. You can see that scrolling atop the top of your screen right now. About to reset here with, looks like Lilith Peters is currently at the top of the speed charts.
There she is. And as you can look at the board, those drivers that are outlined in yellow or gold, those are drivers who have punched their ticket into the playoffs. Those drivers who are in blue are playoff drivers, and those drivers in red is everybody else.
Exactly.
All right, so qualifying is winding down, just about 1 minute left. We could take this opportunity, John, to go through the Tech for Troops GOAT Racing keys to tonight's race.
Let's do it. All right. So looking into Kansas, there's a lot of different aspects of this track that you have to look into. There's multiple lines. There are, a changing track condition as we go from, an afternoon to a night race, which I think we will convert this to a night race. You have to think about that. You also have to think about how many tires are in the pit stops, how many tires are in the stalls there for all of these teams. So we have a lot going into this race. And so really quick, number one, the first key, which it's very common here, of course, is going to be tire management. I mean, you have to focus on your tires, whether you use the low line, whether you use the high line. You have to focus on managing your tires, especially as the track conditions go from a day race to a night race. Number two is pit strategy. I think you could see a lot of green flag pit stops tonight. So be on the lookout for those green flag stops and maximizing your time on pit road, or do what, Alex Forget-Berube does and, pits one stop earlier and doesn't have to make another pit stop. So he's doing a great job there. But I also think track position, number three, is going to be my third key for tonight's race. Starting up in the front when you're having green flag stops is important. Now, if you're a driver like Alex who can fuel save like crazy, maybe you don't need that. But, he's been one of the only drivers this season that's been able to put together a fuel strategy race that has worked out.
Yeah, so he's great. He was great in the INRS Racing Series. I wish we'll be back to them back in February.
Exactly. So, we've seen that you can fuel save in these cars no matter what league you're in, no matter what series you're in. And so excited to see how these drivers are going to play that. But those are my three keys: tire management, pit strategy, track position. Rick, let's bring up our starting lineup for tonight's Tech for Troop Cup Series event in Kansas. All right, on the pole, Lilith Peters won last week in Chicago, locked into the next round with Chris Rell to her outside, also locked in to the round of 10. Justin Horton starting in third, Maxwell Caldwell starting in P4, Justin Lewis starting in fifth, James Lowe starting in sixth, Dustin Coggin starting in seventh, Jesse Vaughn starting in eighth, Aiden Lucas starting in P9, and William Corinne starting in 10th.
In 11th, Ty Bosick. In 12th, to his outside is John Ledger. In 13th, Scotty Grove. In 14th, Andrew Palisci. In 15th, Christopher Howell. 16th is Sammy Harrell. 17th, Chad Jones. 18th is Wyatt Gray. Charles Van Scoik finds himself in 19th with Greg Stone to his outside in 20th.
In 21st, you have Christoph Hall with Nathan Harper to his outside in 22nd. Starting in 23rd is Luke Bullard, and starting in the 24th spot is Garrett Johnston. Starting in 25th is the 72 machine of Jeremy Flanagan with Austin Call starting in 26th. Todd Merkel and Philip Vandertrick start 27th and 28th with Ryan D. Cook, Marco Berube, and Maurice Burnett rounding out 29th, 30th, and 31st on the grid.
All right, drivers are now working off. Our very brave cameraman is right there. Oh, no, watch out.
Oh, well... good things that these cameras are almost invisible and transparent, and when you drive over them, nothing happens. We don't have to fix the cameras. So
Here we go.
Kudos to Kansas for making indestructible cameras. But Rick, I'm really excited to see how this race is going to play out. You could already see the sky turning from day to night. Right now, the track time is actually 7:05 p.m. So this will be, might even be a majority night race, depending on how fast this race goes when it comes to cautions and whatnot. But it's always fun doing a day to night transition.
Well, and these car graphics and their paints will just look amazing under the lights here at Kansas. So looking forward to a great race tonight. Looking forward to how this will show for our viewers. This is our first mile-and-a-half race in our new 4K studio, so we'll see how this goes.
Alrighty, our first race, and excited to see it. Here we go, green flag in the air at Kansas. Who is going to win the race down to turn 1? 06 on the high side, 01 on the low. Looks like Lilith is going to take the lead out of turn 2. Field comes out of turn 2 side by side. Maybe some contact right there from the 18. And 3 wide already through this field. Just 1 lap into this event.
Yeah, look a bit farther back, lots of slicing and dicing, looking for positions. These guys are still 2 and 3 wide as they complete their first lap and start their second here at Kansas.
Rick, I'm really excited to see what the broadcast is going to look like in the nighttime. It's going to be our first night race, I believe, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, I'm very excited because it looks really good in the day. I think it's going to look just screaming good. And then I see the 55 right there of Scotty Grove, right next to the 19 of John Ledger. Some contact being made. John all the way up against the wall, having to check up just a little bit. And Rick, really quick, I want to talk about this. We have a fairly big car count for being just a few races away from the championship race. I mean, 31 cars this deep into the season, somewhat of a rarity.
Oh, absolutely. We typically see some attrition here as the season goes on, but not here in this series. We've got new drivers anticipating next season, existing drivers here competing and coming right down to the last few races and staying in. Just some great competitors.
Absolutely, there are. Right there, looking at the 55 of Scotty Grove, currently running in the 12th position, as the field is still double file. I mean, pretty much throughout this entire field. I feel like we're in Atlanta.
Kansas has that ability with these wide corners, and really overall you can run 3 wide here at Kansas pretty straightforward.
You can when you only have 5 laps on your tires, and that's the big thing here. We see some 3 wide going on in the back. That's the 91 of Andrew Pileshi there, the 4 of Nathan Harper, the 70 of Chad Jones.
You're 3 wide still here on lap 5.
Got some more 3 wide. John Ledger going to, I think, the top. Ty Bostic in the middle there.
4 wide for a minute there.
Yeah, this group right here is all over the place. Ty Bostic stuck in the middle, running his classic Mandalorian scheme. And we're going to see this racing probably last for another 4 to 5 laps, and then you'll start to see the field span out lap 10, 11, 12, 13, when the tires start to go away a little bit. So truthfully, I'm not a huge fan of fighting anybody too hard right now. There's still a lot of racing to go. I don't want to use up my stuff this early in the race just to gain 2 positions and then fall back late in the run.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to happen here. We're anticipating a lot of green flag racing here, a lot of certainly a lot of strategy with pit stops and timing. And you're right, if you're running this hard this early, as we get to the tire fall off phase, lap 15, lap 20, lap 25 here, you're not going to be able to stick this low. And by running the way that they are, there's some contact there. By running this hard this early in the race, you're going to find yourself pushing like a dump truck trying to get through these corners.
You absolutely will. There was some action back there, I believe, with the 88 of Christopher Howell. But everybody's pointed in the right direction still. 9 laps into this event. And if you're new to the broadcast, welcome. We are the IWM Broadcast Network. We are, I would call us one of the premier broadcasting channels here on YouTube across iRacing. And right now you're watching the Tech Troop Cup Series. And make sure to tune in when we pick the INRS, the iNASCAR Racing Series, back up in February. They're running a full season, and so will this series. The Tech Troop Cup Series is going to run a full Cup season for Season 6 here. Proud to have them on board as well. So make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, if you haven't already. We got a lot of great action, though, on track. You see the 01 with the 18 right behind her. That is Justin Horton. And Rick, it caught me off guard, but that's actually Jesse Vaughn. Not in his typical Carvana Jimmy Johnson scheme. Looks like he's running a throwback Miller scheme.
Yeah, is that a Bobby Allison scheme?
Yes, it is. I think it is. That is a gorgeous paint scheme.
Well, that could be a good tribute scheme.
I wonder if that could be any inclination of what we could see next year. Question mark, question mark.
Yep.
Who knows?
That's typical. That's definitely a Bobby Allison throwback paint scheme for sure.
That is. Well, either way, we are 12 laps into this race. Still some 3-wide action going on right now. The 50 and the 55 going 3 wide out of turn 2. 50 slides back in. That is Justin Lewis. As we see the 42, Dustin Coggin now battling. And here comes the 06 down on the inside of Jesse. Going to be 3 wide off the corner. 06 push.
Contact.
06 push.
Still contact.
And this is going to stack up this field.
William Corinne. Lower contact right there. Oh, with Recky with the 06.
He's going to save it, save it, save it,
Oh,
save it, Jesse.
he's back up.
Save it, save it, save it, save it, save it, save it, save it. Come on. Oh, man. And we're wrecking cautions out. He wrecked for a half a lap.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Garrett
I hate that
Johnson
for Jesse.
involved. Jesse Vaughn involved. Luke Bullard also was involved.
Man, he did everything he could to save that 84 machine.
Let's back that up just a little bit here.
It started actually on the exit of 4, it looked like.
I think right here is where it starts. We'll take it in full speed, then we'll slow it down. So he came down. The 81 came down a little bit. There's some contact with the 84. Out of shape here. Unfortunately, the 06 came up and tagged him as they were both battling back and forth.
Yeah, and then the 84 just trying to save the car. I mean, looks like he has it straight right here. Makes a little contact with the 4 of Nathan Harper.
Nathan survives it. He keeps going, but right now, the 84 is so out of shape. That driver's battling that. It's so challenging.
Then he gets hit from behind, which I think ended it right here.
Yeah, the 5
got him loose
tapped
again.
Scotty Grove into the side of Scotty Grove. And then he just goes around. That ends it right there. That's the major damage to that. The 15, unfortunately, gets caught up in it. That's Garrett
Tough
Johnson,
break.
unfortunately. Yep, tough break for that. All right. Drivers are on pit road. A lot of action on pit road. And you can see the 84. Unfortunately, he has got some significant damage on that car.
Yeah, tough break. Just talking about him.
The 06 was getting a bit of that damage repaired. He also had some contact. But you've also got Wyatt Gray. Luke Bullard is still in the pits. Number of drivers are still in there. Garrett Johnson, Maurice Burnett, and obviously Jesse Vaughn that we just spoke of. All right, that puts Scotty Grove. Scotty Grove decided not, well, we take that back. He did not come in initially, but now he finds himself on pit road. We'll see what service he gets. I'm guessing at this early stage, with only 15 laps in, these drivers are only going to take fuel on these stops.
It looks like that's what the majority of them did, but we have a couple 15-second stops. Dustin Coggin, 15 seconds. You have Chad Jones, 15.2. Christopher Howell, 14.9. Kind of curious to see what they did, if taking tires this early will pay off. I mean, I think they are right on the edge of it working.
Yep, it could be. We'll see how it all plays out. But someone on YouTube said that confirmed that it was Bobby Allison. That's one of his Daytona 500 paint schemes. But broadcaster's cursed. You're right. We were focusing on that paint scheme for a bit with Jesse Vaughn, and then yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it's a thing. I don't think it's even us. It's like every series, every broadcaster. It seems to happen once. So Jesse, we apologize up here in the booth. Actually, it happened in the race I was in this past weekend. A couple laps after they showed me on the screen, I wrecked. So it's a thing. Something in the universe. It just happens. So, but all right, 16 laps into this race. Lilith Peters out front, Justin Horton in second, James Lowe, Nathan Harper, and Maxwell Caldwell round out your top five, with William Corinne, John Ledger, Justin Lewis, Jeremy Flanagan, and Ty Bostic 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Right now, your biggest mover of the race is Jeremy Flanagan, up 15 spots at the moment. Nathan Harper, up 19 spots at the moment, up to third.
Yep, huge move for Nathan. Ryan D. Cook as well, so we'll see how this all plays out. All right, the drivers are on the middle of the backstretch. There are obviously a few drivers who are still on pit road or are making their way off. We're getting some info from race control, trying to see that there were no penalties given out. That was just a racing incident.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Green flag back in the air at Kansas. Great start for the outside line of the 01 and the 4. Both teammates, both same sponsors. Luna Steak Sauce.
That's 1, 2, 3. All three are the part of Kaiju Cat right there. Great start.
I wonder if that steak sauce has some magical powers, because I mean they've been fast all season long. I've actually been very curious to try it, see how good it is. But right now they are the best of the field right now. 1, 2, 3. As we see the tight battle now forming right there. You see the 50 of Justin Lewis going to the inside of James Lowe in that 07. Now trying to make a move over here in the back. A little bit of a stack up though. About 10th place on back. That is Sammy Harrell in 12th. But the field keeps on marching forward. We're now looking at the 81 of William Corinne. Looking to have a solid run running in the high line, but here comes the 07 of James Lowe. Going to go to our, call it a drone shot, because it's not a blimp shot, it's a drone shot of this battle right here. You can see the 4, Nathan Harper, the 81, the 07 right there as well.
A little tight between these two drivers. But I guarantee there's more action happening in the back of the pack, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot of action between the 42, the 98 right now, the 70, the 91. They're all side by side. A lot of beating and banging so far.
Still 2 and 3 wide racing. See, the 06 has got himself there as well. Chris Rawls finds himself there with Chuck Van Scoykus back there. Aiden Lucas. See the 91 of Andrew Pileshi. A lot of action.
Yeah, we got 3 wide again right there. That's Sammy Harrell on the bottom side. We saw what happened when they got 3 wide out of turn 4 or turn 2 last time. Able to keep it going in the right direction. That is the 06 Chris Howell. Or Chris Rell, excuse me.
Yeah, remember we're in lap 24 of this. Of course, we got a few laps there for the caution, but most of these drivers did not take on new rubber, so only a handful. Dustin Coggins, Christopher Howell is one, Chad Jones. I think maybe Chris Worrell possibly, but I think he may just spent that time in there making repairs. But the majority of these drivers do not have new tires, so right about now we're beginning to see that tire fall off probably fairly significantly. Time-wise, not so bad, John. I'm thinking maybe just about a 30-second fall off.
Yeah, it's not too bad. 3 to 4 tenths.
If you look at Lilith Peters,
yeah,
she's going around the 3. He's got some significant nose damage on that 3 from that last incident. But you know, we can bring up last lap information here.
Yep, her fastest lap was a 31 flat. Her last lap was a 31.2. So there you go. Justin Lewis just ran his fastest lap of the race. But looking at the drivers who did take 4 tires, Dustin Coggin up to 5th. Christopher Howell now up to 6th. Chad Jones up to 8th. And Chris Rell up to 12th. So I think those tires are going to play out on the long run here now. They will have one less set to use.
So how this worked was you got one set when you started the race, which is the same set you qualified on, and then you had 3 more sets in your pit box.
Yep.
'81 tagged the wall a bit there. That's William Corinne. As we've said before in iRacing, when you do end up dragging that right side of your car along that safer barrier, it is kind of like glue. It just sucks you in and slows you down.
Yep. Very hard to get off of and lose all momentum. It takes a few laps to kind of get back to it. Here's a battle right now, the 81 and the 70 right there. That is for P6. Got 3 wide, obviously, with that lap down car of Luke Bullard there. Contact.
Contact with the wall there by somebody. The 72 of Jeremy Flanagan up there on the outside. He's got the 50. Below him, that's Justin Lewis and Chris Howell. As you see them drift up, and that drifting up is definitely going to happen. That's indicative as we get through this tire wear. It's very hard to stick on that low line. And then you'll find yourself up and drifting up into the wall.
You most definitely will, and that's where kind of see what some action going on here. Field kind of spanned out a little bit.
Now I think so. The 19 of John Lewis, John Ledger, really get a great run and really moved up quickly and worked his way around that 72.
Now looking right now,
you've seen John wall ride, not as badly as a Ross Chastain, but he seems to like that safer barrier.
he does. I mean, whether it makes him faster or not, I mean, maybe for a couple laps, but after a while, that totaling might be a little bit bent. But either way, he is trying to make his way up in here to the field, currently sitting in the 11th position. But Dustin Coggett has made his way up to P4 right now, trying to make his way around the number 4 car. Right behind him is actually right now it might actually pass him, the 88, depending on if he goes to the high side here. But they are all on fresh tires, the 42, the 88, and the 70. So they're all sitting there waiting for these tires to go. Oh, he slid up in front of the 4. Big move there out of the 42. And they're coming, Rick. It's they're going to be getting to the front pretty fast here.
Yeah, so you said that the 42 and the 70 are non-playoff drivers, and they're up there battling with playoff drivers trying to make their names known for sure.
I mean, just looking at the last couple laps, on paper they're not faster, but in the tire lap category they are. They have about 14 laps fresher tires, so these times I think are going to be, car on the wall. Nathan Harper, I think, is up in the wall.
Was up just, yeah. Again, tag the wall. I think we're seeing the, we're seeing the end of life on that grip pretty much.
We are.
It's just
Here comes the 88.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go in car with the 4. Not have their mirrors programmed in. We'll get that taken care of. Oh yeah, you can absolutely see where he's got no grip.
Nope, none at all.
So as a driver, when this occurs, you get that much wear, you've got to really rethink your line and your throttle.
Yep.
I would not want to be on his outside.
No, I would be.
I mean, no offense to Nathan Harper, but he's certainly struggling with grip.
It's just natural. It's just natural right now.
42 is in that position right now. He's to his outside, gets around him. Lilith Peters continues to lead here at Kansas.
Out front for a good portion of the race.
See, though, her grip has gone as well. She just scraped the wall. Expect to see a lot of that here at Kansas. All right, 37 laps in the books. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. And you won't miss a thing. We will be side by side. Thanks for watching the IWM Broadcast Network.
Hello, my name is Jack Raymondson. I manage business development here at Tech for Troops, and I'm my second year with this amazing veteran nonprofit owned and operated by veterans for veterans. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an amphibious assault crewman from 1992 to 1996. I also served in the U.S. Coast Guard from 2002 to 2007, joining after 9/11 as an operations specialist, then serving as an instructor at Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown. I also spent many years as a first responder volunteering as an EMT and fireman. I'm here at Tech for Troops because I believe in our mission to empower veterans and their families with the gift of computers and technology training, as well as our outreach to help curb veteran suicide while providing a safe and meaningful community where veterans are treated with respect and dignity. We are aiming for zero veteran suicide through gaming and other program opportunities. We help veterans regain a new sense of purpose and help them see they have a brighter future ahead of them. It truly is an honor and my pleasure to serve my fellow veterans and help give them a leg up. 2024 is Tech for Troops' 10th anniversary year, and I ask that you help us support our veterans and their families with a computer donation and or greatly needed financial contribution so we can help every last veteran in need. Together, you and Tech for Troops can be change makers. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Tech for Troops Cup Series, and here we are at Kansas. I'm Rick Souza, John Drutris in the booth tonight, and we are at lap 41 of our scheduled 125. Lilith Peters has led from the beginning and continues to lead here.
Doing a great job out front right now. I mean, putting on a little bit of a clinic early on.
You can see a lot of drivers are making contact. With the safer barriers here at Kansas. Looking back through the field, probably a good time to kind of take a walk back through the field. We've got Christopher Howell has now moved up and finds himself in second. But thanks to a tire change.
A very strong tire change to him. That was such a good move on his part. Absolutely.
Same thing with Chad Jones. Both those drivers took on tires and now find themselves tires. Now Chad Jones is also Kaiju Cat, along with Lilith Peters and Nathan Harper and Justin Horton. Nathan Harper still continues to be in fourth. You see the 18 of Justin Horton trying to work his way around, and the 07 of James Lowe right there as they battle as top five. Ty Bostic finds himself in seventh. With Dustin Coggin is back in eighth. He's got Chris Worrell on his tail. Behind them, that's John Ledger in that number 19 Monster Energy car. And Chuck Van Scoik in that Goat Racing 23. Justin Lewis finds himself in 12th. In that number 50 JL Racing Toyota. William Curran II in the 81, right there is in 14th, and Wyatt Ray in the 71 is in 15th. A better shot of Wyatt here. Jeremy Flanagan is in 17th, Austin Call is in 18th. Christoph Hall finds himself in 19th, 98. Sammy Harrell, Goat Racing as well, is in the 43. Right behind him with Scotty Grove in the 55, working their way around right now. The 10 of Aiden Lucas and the 48 of Philip Vandertwit back there in 23rd. A little bit farther back, you find the 5 of Greg Stone. Marco Ruby in that shiny number 99. Todd Merkel back there. Todd is in that number 2. Brian Decook in the 46. And right now you've got the 3. That is with Boa, who finds himself in the unenviable position of being a lap down. Got Justin Lewis, I think, is on pit road. And I think we're going to begin to see a number of these drivers make their way down onto pit road.
I agree. I think it's going to happen soon. as we are now nearing just the right time for these lights to come on. They'll be on here in a second, Rick. When they do, they're going to illuminate this place, and we're going to go from a day to a night race.
Yep, that's
Currently 8 o'clock.
Bring up the current weather information. So track temp is 74, air temperature 71. Not much change from how we started, but you're right. It currently shows us at virtually 8 o'clock, so it's going to get dark.
It will. Right now, looking at where these drivers stand, Chad Jones out front, leading this race with Lilith Peters in second. Now, Chad was one of those drivers that came down pit road and got fresh tires, so that's an important aspect and note to make there. He is a non-playoff driver, though, so doesn't matter if he wins. He's not making it in. He's not a playoff driver. James Lowe is the next eligible playoff driver that can lock himself into the next round if he wins the race.
On board with Lilith Peters, you can actually just tell from how she's driving. You can see as she backs off a little bit earlier than the 70 and arcs her way through the corner. Getting very gently back on the throttle. Good run there actually off that corner. She got a great run on that 70 right up on his bumper. Two drivers currently on pit road.
Looks like we got the 5 car speeding down pit road, Rick. First penalty of the evening. Oh no. Here comes Lilith, though. You'll see her entering the picture right there. Oh, 18 hot into the pits. Okay, so the 06 and the 70 get out of pit road. Here comes some more drivers down. Bostic, Horton, Van Schoik, Coggin, Flanagan, Austin Call, Vandertwick, Berube, and Johnston all making their way down.
That puts James Lowe out in front. As we go through our first round of green flag pit stops. But yeah, the 5 car and the 70 car, bad news.
And the 88. 88 speeding as well.
Tough break for those drivers. Drivers are being held on pit road.
We got Sammy Harrell and Ryan D. Cook as well for speeding. Man, the speeding police have been out tonight, Rick.
They have. Guns are active. All right, that will shake up our order in a bit. We'll get to an updated tower. And that puts Justin Lewis up to the point here. Justin Lewis is now your leader. Lilith Peters in second. Chris Worrell in third. Ty Bostic finds himself in fourth. And Nathan Harper in fifth. Ty Bostic could really use a win here at Kansas.
He definitely could, and we'll see how that plays out throughout the race. But out front, hitting 5 laps before everybody, is 50 of Justin Lewis.
See on our track map, this field is pretty spread out.
Looks like we got more open. A caution out, Rick.
Caution is flying. Dustin Coggins involved. The 42 of Dustin Coggins. Back and see just what happened to Dustin. He's fresh off a nice pit stop, but looks like he just lost it.
Yep, definitely just lost it.
The good news is he kept it on the apron and did not allow that car to re-enter the racing surface, and saved a lot of heartache for other drivers.
Exactly.
All right, so we're under caution here, lap 59 of Kansas. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back at the end. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech for Troops? Tech for Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to techfortroops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech for Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, folks, we're under caution here. Lap 60 of 125, almost at the halfway point. Did see that like and subscribe bug if you could. If you haven't subscribed to the IWM broadcast channel, great opportunity. We're going to be very busy next season. We got a lot going on. Of course, we still have a number of races here as we enter into the next round of the playoffs starting next week. We go from our cut from 16 drivers down to 10. I think we'll go to about the middle of December.
Yep, I believe that's correct.
And the broadcast team will take a well-deserved break for the holidays and come back for the Daytona 500.
Oh yeah, gonna be a fun one.
All right, a number of drivers have made their way back down onto pit road. I'm guessing probably just for either some damage repair or splash of fuel.
Probably.
We're watching the 42 coming off pit road, the 70 of Chad Jones, Christoph Hall, number of drivers. All right, lights are still on the pace car. It means next time by they'll probably go off, but so far some great racing here tonight, John.
Oh, it's been a blast. I think you're seeing the expertise of this league. I think you're seeing why this race was picked here for this last race before we get to the round of 10. I'm very excited to see how this race is going to play out. You have drivers up at the front who aren't playoff drivers, drivers who have won before, drivers who need to win. It's a mix-up of everything that you would want in a championship race, or not championship race, a cutoff race, that is.
All right. Okay, the skies are darkening a bit here at Kansas, overcast.
Lights are on.
I'm sure
Thank goodness.
The rain will stay away.
You know, that would be a little bit of a
A little too realism.
Yeah. I would be curious to see how these drivers would even think about trying to attack that. The banking won't work. So,
It would not be a bad day in Kansas.
It'd be a very bad day in Kansas.
Anti-M, anti-M. All right, these drivers are forming back up. Your top 5, you got Lewis, Peters, Bostic, Harper, and Lowe. Couple Kaiju Cat racers up there. And a mix of everything else. We'll go on board with the 22 on this restart. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it. See what that 22 car Ty Bostic is seeing. As we're about to get the green flag. Pace car makes its way down just about halfway through this race. In the Geico restart zone, and we're green flag racing from Kansas. Great restart for the bottom line. Not a good restart for the outside line. Little Peters now on the outside of the 22, which you were riding on board with right now. 22 needs a win to get in.
Yeah, great restart for the 22 of Ty Bostic. Justin Lewis is right there, but Lilith Peters slips underneath, but settles back in the second position. Now, this is one of those tracks, John. Do you run the high line? Do you end up saving tires, or where's the wear here?
It's at a bunch of different places depending on where you're running in the run. So you can run that low line. I personally find it that it wears faster than this high line. I like being in the high line and just saving my tires. Now that right rear is going to wear pretty hard up there on the high side. So maximizing your tires on the low line in early parts of the run is what I would do. Then I would move to the high side because that low line is just going to eat away your tires as the night goes on. That's why you see a lot of the drivers will typically migrate up to the top.
All right, just crossing the halfway point here. Justin Horton turned in a 30.78.
Wow.
That's a smoking time. I think that's the fastest time of the race.
That is the fastest time of the race. Yep. By a couple tenths.
Yeah, 23 cars still on the lead lap. Justin Horton finds himself back in 22nd, but keep turning laps like that. That won't last long. He is turning some smoking laps back here.
Getting a little bit of a draft, I think.
Yep. Tight battle there with the 70 and the 43 there. 70 is a lap down. He's the first car down. And he would be the lucky dog candidate if that would occur. All right, back up front. See the 4 of Nathan Harper has gone around Lilith Peters, taking over second place as they make their charge towards Justin Lewis. Now, Justin Lewis pitted last on lap 47, so these drivers who are nipping at his heels pitted at least 5 or so laps. Oh, Jeremy Flanagan went off track. What's going on with Jeremy Flanagan here?
Oh, no.
No caution. He kept it going, but something happened with Jeremy.
Something did. Let's see what happened.
A lot of traffic here. That's the 91 of Andrew Pileski below.
Oh, kind of got hooked a little bit.
Yep. Take that back. Trying to figure out. Looks like the 91 does come up a little bit, and 72 comes down. So it's situational awareness. But the 72 kept it going, and no caution came out. Finds himself, though, scrambling to get back to the pack.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit difficult to get back to the pack once that happens. It's unfortunate. Oh, up in the wall.
Yeah, his last lap time, we'll check it this next time by, was significantly off compared to the leaders.
All right, looking at the top 10 right now, Justin Lewis up in first with Nathan Harper in second, Lil Peters in third, James Lowe in fourth. Well, now James Lowe battling for that third spot with Chuck Van Squick in fifth, Austin Call in sixth, Maxwell Caldwell in seventh, William Corinne in eighth, Chris Squirrell in ninth, and Ty Bostic in 10th.
All right, 73 laps are in the books. Of course, with if a non-playoff driver wins this race, that basically that opens it up for points.
It does. So makes those guys' lives a little bit easier in the back near that cutoff line.
Refreshing your driver standings a bit here. You can see towards the back, you've got Ty Bostic and Christoph Hall right there battling with Chris Howell. That's 10 and Sammy Harrell. So those are all separated by, 10 points between Harrell, Bostic at the cut line, Hall, and Howell. And where those drivers sit today, Ty Bostic is in great shape.
For sure.
Christoph Hall is running down in 20th. Christopher Howell is a lap down from a penalty. He's sitting down 25th, so all good. If you're Ty Boston.
Yeah, if you're Ty Boston. Yeah.
A lot of action going on the track. Yellow is back out.
Oh, yep. Yellow is out big time. Big wreck on turn one. 81 involved. Wyatt Gray as well, I think.
Marco Berube, Scotty Groves, Sammy Harrell, Chris Worrell as well. Not sure where this all started. We'll try to go back and figure that out. Unpack this a bit. Definitely started
at turn 4.
Farther up, further than this, I think.
Maybe.
There it is. It's farther.
Oh yeah, up there. Yep.
I think that's Scotty Grove. The 81 of William Corinne is around. He is definitely pointed in the wrong direction.
Yes, he is.
All right, so let's step through this. 81 is up high, and now he's coming down on top of the 6.
Yeah, I see that the same way.
May not have realized that he had a car there, but that definitely came down. Unfortunately, got a lot of other cars in the way. You see that Justin Horton there makes contact, really impacts the 81 and the 18. Big damage on the 80 and the 18 of Justin Horton. He's had such a good race, but I think his day is done based on some of that toe link damage I just saw.
Yeah, really, really tough wreck and tough break for a lot of these drivers who needed a good run.
All right, so the field is on pit road getting service.
Looks like
Great charge off of pit road for the 50, huh?
50 showing what he's got. Justin Lewis, he's out of that Kaiju Cat, or not, excuse me, out of the Kaiju Cat. He is sitting right there out of Lewis Motorsports.
Yep.
And showing what that team can do.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Lewis Motorsports, they've joined this season. Expect to see them big time for next season. That's Andrew Palesci, Austin Call, Justin Lewis, Maxwell Caldwell, and Todd Merkel.
They're doing a great job. Great job, so kudos to them.
All right, number of drivers on pit road. I think Christopher Howell may have gotten his lap back after he went down for a speeding penalty. All right, again, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network of the Tech for Troops GOAT Diecast GOAT Racing Diecast series. Gosh, it's been a long day.
It's one of those days.
It is one of those days.
Week before Thanksgiving, you were already thinking about it. It's that time of year.
Must be. All right, as we stated earlier, this is the cut race in the Tech for Troops Cup Series, and then we move on. Now, if you look at our schedule, originally that's kind of changed a bit. So next week, after Kansas, we'll be at Michigan for our first race in the playoff, and then after Michigan, we go to Auto Club, which we don't run that anymore in the regular series, but in the virtual world, Auto Club exists just like it did. And then we'll go on to Old Atlanta.
Kind of throwing it back to some tracks that don't exist anymore. Obviously, Atlanta's still there, but that old configuration and Old Auto Club, I mean, those are some fun tracks.
Yeah, it should definitely make it make that final round of racing. You know, if you're an oval racer, if you like those big ovals like Michigan and Auto Club, and that should really wet your whistle, so to speak. And then obviously Old Atlanta will test the nerves of any driver out there. And really, it's that surface is very abrasive, so tire wear, that right front is going to be your nemesis to be successful on that track. Then obviously we finish up at Phoenix, just like regular Cup Series did this past week.
Yes, they did. And so glad you've tuned in tonight. If you are new to the IWM Broadcast Network. But all right, here we go. Pace car makes its way down pit road again. 50 is the control car, and green flag back in the air here at Kansas Speedway. With just a little bit to go, about 44 laps to go in this event. Out front, Justin Lewis leading Lil Peters now, as we're going to get a run out of the corner. Lil goes to the inside. Big move from the 01, trying to get around the 50. She knows that she has to do this now, or she may not have another chance at the end of the race.
Lil holds it together. Oh, contact. Watching the 4 of Nathan Lewis.
Oh,
Nathan Harper.
Contact.
Wow,
no caution. No caution. We might have a caution now. They're wrecking. Car sideways. Yep.
And unfortunately, that is Luke Bullard in the back as well. The 91 is involved. That's Andrew Palesci. You can see the damage. His right rear is not even rotating, so I believe he is done for the day. He may have to tow back. Big wreck here at lap 83. Ryan D. Cook also involved. Let's see if we can pick up Ryan D. Cook here. He may have also a tow link issue. But let's go back and look at that yellow flag. So this all started, I think, with the 4. Wow. And we'll try to find the 4, Nathan Harper, and really Andrew Pileshi. I think it started with the 4, but
Yeah, the 4 got loose and came up the track.
so you can see the 4 down below. He's losing it. He can't hold it. The 91 has no place to go. He comes up right in front with a net code there, but that forces the 91. He winds up in the wall.
And what happened to get everybody else involved? The 91 come off the wall? Oh, I think the 91 did. Someone's going to hit him.
There's Luke Bullard. Boom.
Mm.
That takes out that left rear. See the hood come up, and then Ryan D. Cook had no place to go. Winds up in the trunk of the 3.
Tough break. Tough break.
Yep.
Looks like the caution will be designated to the 4 car.
Yep, the 4 will, unfortunately, he will wind up getting an end-of-line penalty. So far, just a handful of retirees. The 70 of Chad Jones I show as retired, as well as the 55 of Scotty Grove, the 5 of Greg Stone, and the 84 of Jesse Vaughn, unfortunately, from that first incident of the night. So here we are, lap 84, John. There is just 40 laps. 35 laps to go. 40 laps left to go.
Yep.
So what's a trying to figure
What's
out.
the call?
They're going to have to come in one more time, right?
They should. They should have to come down one more time. That is what my math is telling me right now.
So they came in at lap 77. Just doing some simple math here because I'm a simple kind of guy.
What is that? 48? No, 58?
It says 58, so they may
Yep.
not have to come back down.
I mean, it'll be a gamble. It'll be a gamble.
But I mean, if there's a caution out, you want to come down and take first tires.
For sure. No, you have to.
Number of drivers on pit road: Lilith Peters coming down, as well as Chuck Van Scoik. And I follow Chuck Van Scoik a lot because he seems to he's got a nice strategy.
He does. He also has a nice paint scheme tonight. I think it's a SpongeBob paint scheme.
Saw the 01 of Lilith Peters come down. All she did was take fuel. That was a 4.5 second stop just to top off that tank to be sure she has got enough to make it around.
Wow.
Same with Chuck Van Scoik, 4.33 seconds. So after all that drama and all those cautions, 4 total cautions for the night, 18 cars remain here on the lead lap. That does put the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell as part of Lewis Racing out in front, and I think he will be our control car on this restart.
I think you're correct. I think you're right. Here we go. Pace car makes its way down again. About to get the green flag here. And green is in the air at Kansas.
So just looking up at the at those drivers that are on that front row, that's all Lewis Racing, Lewis Motorsports.
Yeah, I mean they're
Austin Call,
here to
Justin
battle.
Lewis, Maxwell Caldwell, Todd Merkel, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is all Lewis Motorsports.
They are here to battle.
So a 10 of Aiden Lucas trying to make a move. He's trying to get himself around the 2 of Todd Merkel. Behind him, you can see the 15. That's Garrett Johnston. Ty Boston to the outside. Number of drivers
there
on
comes the
pit
two.
road.
Yep.
With repairs, Andrew Gillespie, Brian Cook, William Corinne, Justin Horton, and Wyatt Gray all on pit road for extended service times.
A couple meatball flags in there too, which means they had to come down and fix repairs because iRacing said you have too many issues with your car. You got to come down and fix them. So
Yep, too much damage, not good.
too much damage. Got 35 laps to go here, and Justin Lewis, Austin Call, Maxwell Caldwell, your current top 3 with James Lowe, Ty Bostic, Aiden Lucas, Todd Merkel, Christoph Hall, John Ledger, and Garrett Johnston, your top 10. 5 cars are in the championship fight. 5 cars are not in the championship fight, so it's anybody's game tonight, Rick.
It sure is. So good running by Justin Lewis out in front. Laps complete, 92 laps complete. As this race begins to wind down here in Kansas. Again, thanks for tuning in to the Goat Racing Diecast Tech for Troops Cup Series here on the IWM Broadcast Network. We will be broadcasting next week, Thanksgiving Eve, and we will be in Michigan.
Michigan. Should be a really good race.
Yep, for the first round of the round of 10 as we make our first major cut headed towards our finale.
Rick, we're kind of figuring out what these drivers have. And here comes the 47 to the back bumper of the 50. See what he can do. As we see the 01 of Lilith Peters trying to make her way back up to the front, getting around the 10 of Aiden Lucas fairly easily there. With just 30 laps to go, we have some battling going on, possibly for the lead. Austin Call is sitting there patiently waiting, part of that team, but patiently waiting, seeing what that number 50 will do.
Christopher Howell is on pit road. You see as his service clock goes down, just what that looks like. He's doing tires with 30 laps to go.
Yep.
But he's going to find himself a lap down.
Yeah, that's the tough thing with this is you're now setting yourself back. But if he thinks that everybody else has to come down pit road, I mean, he could be in the driver's seat here. We don't know, though. See the battle for the lead now. Here we go. 47 slides up in front of the 50. Wow, that was close. Out of turn 4. 50 makes the move. The slide job, the crossover. Switch back.
Continue to battle.
They will, no matter how you call it. Crossover, switch back. Depending on what kind of racing you watch, they call it differently.
All right, lap 99, coming up to lap 100 here. As the 50 and 47 battle, the 94 has now creeped up. That's Maxwell Caldwell, all part of this Lewis Motorsports group. He says, hey guys, I'm here too. Go on board with the 47. Digging a little deeper in those corners to try and get a little bit of grip.
For sure he is.
He gave him a good run, but of course that's at the detriment of those tires.
At this point, you have to make some kind of move. We'll see how long this can last, but 25 to go. Moves will start to be either desperate or just not enough. Andrew Pileshi been on pit road for about 13 minutes, so his night is unfortunately over.
Yeah.
Looking at some other drivers.
Let's keep an eye on those lap times on the 47 as this winds down with less than 25 laps to go here. And that big run and that approach he was taking out of 2, I'm not sure he's doing himself any favors.
Agreed.
James Lowe has made his way up and is now nipping at the heels of this Lewis Motorsports group. He finds himself and Ty Bostic right there. That's 4th and 5th as they try to run down these leaders with 23 laps to go. Last time by, James turned, well, in fact, let's just give it a second here. Let the racing telemetry give us an update here. So James Lowe finds himself now in 3rd place. His last time by was a 31:53, slightly off pace with the leaders, but I think it's because just how he was getting around. Austin Call now finds himself on pit road. He was late on fuel. He just came in and just got fuel. I'm wondering if we're going to see that with the rest of these drivers who pitted last on lap 77. John, any thoughts?
It's really close. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers right now. I mean, some of these drivers that are in better shape, James Lowe, Ty Bostic, John Ledger, Christoph Hall, really even in the back. Both Peters, Chuck Van Scoyk, they're in great position now. It's tough. Did they save enough fuel? Because obviously the track position has paid off for these drivers that have stayed out in pit on lap only, 77 outside of 83, 84, 85. But will they make it to the end? That's the question.
Yep, James Lowe pitted last on lap 83. So he's got 6 laps to the good versus Justin Lewis and Max Caldwell. Todd Merkel finds himself on pit road. So we're not sure. Our math is not as good as these drivers. They've got to make their own calls about how much fuel they have left, if they can make it with 19 laps to go. Oh, the 50 just grazed the wall a bit, but you've got to make a decision here. You can't, well, you can stay out and you can pray that a caution comes out, or you can unfortunately do what you may need to do, and that's come down pit road. But if you do, you are going to find yourself a lap down.
You will, and that's the biggest issue here is how is that going to work out? You know what I mean? It's very tough to tell, but I think that these drivers, they're going to try to do their best to make it to the end. And it's all the fuel strategy game right now. Could 6 laps be it? I mean, James Lowe sitting in a great spot. I think he's probably the driver. If it's any driver that can pull this off on this strategy, is going to be him.
So on board with your leader, Justin Lewis. Don't see any attempts at saving fuel.
I don't think you will. Rick, here we go. 15 laps to go. Justin Lewis still out front by 0.7 of a second over Maxwell Caldwell and James Lowe in third.
A couple of good comments on our YouTube channel saying so many guys are downshifting the whole run. By lap 20, they struggle on exits. It's the cause of a few of the yellows. That makes perfect sense. Also, 36 laps a run was posted as what we're believing, but does that math work when it comes to Ty Bostic is now in on pit road?
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was 36. That was my original estimate. We've had the numbers be kind of all over the place depending on if it's 50% fuel, 60% fuel, what it looks like. So Ty Bostic, one of the first to come down.
So we are at 60% fuel. Yeah, that's where our math didn't play. I don't know why we missed the fact that it's only 60% fuel. So
I mean,
yeah, 35.29 laps.
Yep. That's exactly what I got. Yep, so it's right there at that 36 lap mark. Can they save enough? That is the question. Oh,
well, if you pitted on lap 83, I don't believe you can make it.
I don't think you can either. It might be a little longer, but again, it's tough to know when it comes to even, we could have these numbers, but different driving styles, people are shifting, people might be, clutching in the corners. We can't go on board to every single driver and see. I guess we could. That would take a while. We don't want to take you away from the action. Plus, it could change lap to lap and corner to corner.
So we're expecting to see Justin Lewis on pit road, Max Caldwell, James Lowe. If you pit on lap 83, you're going to be short. Let's see what James
Yeah.
is doing.
Yeah, running a smooth line.
Maybe saving a little bit deep out of the throttle.
Yeah. That's the big question. How much do they need to save? We'll keep an eye out on who comes down pit road, but we're under 10 laps to go here.
Nine laps to go. So back up front, Justin Lewis continues to make his way around. He pitted last on lap 77. Jump on board quickly with the 50. Just running his race. No, you can't see anything there.
I agree. Running that mid to high line. Oh, here he comes.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
Yep, here we go. With 8 laps to go, your leader comes down pit road.
So that puts Maxwell Caldwell and Garrett Johnston, both drivers who pitted last on lap 77, on pit road. Well, let me rephrase that. Justin Lewis is on pit road. Those other 2 drivers, Maxwell Caldwell, they did not come down, but they also pitted last on lap 77. Expect to see the 94 on pit road as well as the 15.
If I was James, I would be trying to save as much as I can right now, because based off those numbers, he can make it with 2 to go if he actually topped off and got 6 more laps. So if I was the 07, I mean, maybe he's been saving more than we think. Maybe he can make it, but based off of those numbers, I mean, right now Maxwell Caldwell hit the last same time as the 50. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, he has not come down with 6 laps to go.
Oh, here he is.
Yep.
So that's going to give the lead to James Lowe. And Garrett Johnston comes down pit road.
Yep. Both drivers pitted last on lap 77.
So that was the big, and there goes the 50 on by the leader. It's a tough break for the 50. Got his lap back though, so if anything happens, he's sitting in a great spot. But right now, James Lowe is your current leader, leading Christoph Hall by 2.5 seconds. And Rick, that gap is closing and closing fast. Christoph lost a little bit on corner exit right there.
He is saving. You can hear him saving. He's clutching it. James Lowe is trying to save fuel.
Last time by, James Lowe, a 32.9. Last time by, Christoph Hall, a 32.1. So full 8/10 faster for that 98 machine.
He is trying to do everything he can. Let's go on board with Christoph Hall. They both now we're in the cockpit of the 98. He also came in lap 83. He's also saving, but who is waiting right behind these drivers? Lilith Peters and Chuck Van Skyke, who both pitted on lap 85.
Yeah, they're right there, and they are trying to press this 98 car very hard right now. Side-by-side racing. Oh, contact. The one drifted up into the 98. Very badly right there. That's going to completely ruin the momentum that the 98 had. 98 probably not too happy with that move. Trying to protect his second place and trying to move all the way through.
Yeah, the 98 needs this finish.
He's got to protect us here. He is 3 wide out of turn 4. Not good.
They're wrecking. They're wrecking.
White flags in the air, though. Lilith Peters up on 2 wheels against the fence.
She is trapped. She is wall riding the wrong way. Final lap, we're watching James Lowe. Can he do it?
He's 2.3 ahead of Aiden Lucas.
Aiden Lucas out of nowhere.
Lilith Peters in pit road. Dustin Coggin on pit road. I think that the 07 might have enough. I think he will have enough on a fuel strategy race to lock himself into the next round. James Lowe wins at Kansas. Aiden Lucas comes home in second, and Chuck Van Scoik somehow manages the 3rd place spot.
Great finish for Aiden Lucas. He was way down in the point stand. This is definitely going to help him, and possibly may help him get into the next round. Good move for Christoph Hall, John Ledger, Ty Bostic. All your top 6 are all playoff drivers, and James Lowe becomes the 3rd winner in this round. We had a separate winner for each race, and he punches his ticket into the next round.
Rick, we may need to replay what happened between the 01, the 98, and the 23. The 01 was the tail end of that recipient there. They were up against the wall. Here we go. It's coming out of turn 4.
The 98. The 01 tags the wall. Oh, there's contact between teammates.
Yeah, the 23 came up into the 98.
So 23 and the 98, those are teammates with GOAT Racing.
You can see the 23 drifting.
There's contact.
Might be a little, contact there. And the contact just propels the 01 up against the fence. Wow. Reminds me of Corey LaJoy at Talladega.
Wow. That's a wild ride.
That is a wild ride. Flip back over. Yeah, and then nowhere to go. You're on your roof. Just waiting for the car to stop. And then you got to reset there. But, all right, Rick, let's bring up our finishing and final results for tonight's Tech for Troop Cup Series and GOAT Racing Diecast event at Kansas Speedway. James Lowe wins the race and locks himself into the round of 10 with Aiden Lucas coming home in second. Chuck Van Scoik, marvelous finish there in P3. With Christoph Hall in 4th, manages to squeak away that as well. Lucky on that. And John Ledger finishes 5th, Ty Bostic in 6th, Chris Worrell in 7th, Jeremy Flanagan in 8th, Justin Lewis in 9th, and Maxwell Caldwell in P10.
With that wild ride at the finish, Lilith Peters finishes in 11th, Dustin Coggin in 12th, Christopher Howe in 13th, Todd Merkel in 14th. In 15th, Garrett Johnson. Austin Call finishes in 16th, and Nathan Harper in 17th. In 18th, you've got Marco Berube. 19th is Samuel Harrell. 20th is Philip Vandertwig.
In 21st, you have Maurice Burnett with 22nd, Wyatt Gray. 23rd, Andrew Pileshi. In 24th, Luke Bullard. 25th, Chad Jones. 26th, Ryan D. Cook. 27th, William Corinne. 28th, Scotty Grove. 29th, Justin Horton. 30th, Greg Stone, and 31st, Jesse Vaughn.
All right, that wraps up our race here at Kansas, but don't go away. We've got driver interviews coming any moment. Let's see if we're trying to see if we can find Chuck Van Scoik. He's probably not happy with the way that finishes, but let's see if we can move Chuck into the broadcast booth. Let's see if you can hear us. Chuck, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, welcome to the broadcast booth. You know, wild finish there at the end. You're just watching the replay, a little bit of contact between yourself and Christoph Hall towards the end there, which collected Lilith Peters towards during that last lap.
Yeah, just he was saving more than expected, I guess, and I came up and he said he stayed off the wall because she came in late. So instead of going up like he kind of stayed there. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't even You know, as crazy as it sounds, I was just trying to finish the race because I was pretty good to get locked into the next round. So didn't really want to. All I had to do was not make a huge mistake early, and then I was just rolling the bottom, shifting, and then once I saw there was an opportunity to save gas, I said, you know what, let's just do that.
Well, a good finish for the goat racing team for sure here at Kansas.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, I believe. I believe, you know, quick math. I believe Sammy is the last one in. So it'd be me, Aiden, Christoph, and so 4 of us are in. Uh, at the most 3 minimum, but other than that, I mean, it's good race overall. Just
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just like I said, it wasn't pushing, and then when I had an opportunity to, I downshifted there and tried shooting under both of them, and didn't work out.
Hey, John, if you want to see if you can pull up the point details and get those points figured out, maybe we can get an updated
Yeah,
top 10 if you can.
might take a second. I'll have to talk with Elliot about that one, but I'm getting them in as we speak. Maybe a little bit later on before we get the final
Gotcha,
points in.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Chuck, congratulations on your finish and your team's finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, obviously to you guys, great broadcast always. I got a guy, one of my salesmen at work watches religiously. Now he's hooked. He loves what you guys do. Elliot for continuing putting up with the madness and trying to, you know, it's difficult when you got 40 grown children to try to keep them all happy. And then to my team, you know, when Aaron wasn't here tonight, CJ, and then you had Aiden, Christoph, Maurice. I'm glad to see Maurice back out, and of course Sammy. Um, and then obviously to my company, Goat Race and Diecast, doing a lot of cool things, doing some flea markets around here. Got the RC cars going, and working on, you know, redoing my man cave so I can get like a custom desk so I can start doing some customs myself instead of outsourcing them. I don't know when I'm going to find the time, but that's the idea. So yeah, and then all the drivers, you know, it was a good hard race, and to everyone watching. And I always forget, and I apologize every time I do get it interview Tech for Troops, who is the primary sponsor. I never mention them. I realized that when I was watching a couple things back. So everything they do, great sponsor. Wouldn't be able to do anything that we're doing here without them.
You got it. All right, that's Chuck Van Scoik finishing up in 3rd position, and congratulations on that. And we'll bring in Mr. Aiden Lucas into the broadcast booth. Aiden, congratulations on your 2nd place finish.
Oh, thank you, Rick. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great. We watched a really good race tonight. Not a lot of cautions. It's some great racing and really just some good racecraft tonight.
Yeah, definitely a lot of clean battles, a couple of scary moments, but overall, definitely a good race.
So, you know, we saw you. Now you started in 9th. A good start for you, but really, you know, we saw some good moves towards the end of that race by your number 10.
Yeah, struggled early in the beginning, just couldn't wrap my head around it, and as the night went on, seemed to get some more speed, and track position always helps.
Well, and this is also one of those tracks where, you know, you've got to get the right pit stop in. You've got to find your timing with fuel, because it definitely becomes a fuel mileage race. You certainly had that figured out. Was it close towards the end?
Yeah, probably could have pushed a couple more laps in that last run, but just wanted to be safe, better than coasting across the finish line, some would say.
Well, it certainly showed. Congratulations on your 2nd place finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, thank you guys for what you do. Thank you, Chuck. Always a good thing to rep this goat racing on the side of the car. And thank you to Beyond Detailing. If you need your car detailed in the bay, you know who to go to.
There you go. All right, there's Aiden Lucas finishing in 2nd place here at Kansas. And with that, let's bring in our winner tonight into the broadcast booth. James Lowe joins us here. James, congratulations. Great win, great finish.
Hey, appreciate it, Rick. It was fun.
Yeah, you certainly have locked yourself in for sure into the playoffs. I think you're pretty close anyways, but that certainly makes it easy.
Yeah, I wish I would have blew it last week and done it last week, but, you know, road courses are my nemesis. But yeah, this week was just all about just being patient and never shifting. I think that was the key.
Well, I think we saw that a little bit, didn't we, John? We saw some drivers were downshifting through, and I think that just really toasted their gas mileage.
Yeah, I mean, all the guys around me were shifting. I know that for sure. I could hear them over there, but I just let them go, and then they would burn their tires off up around top, and I would start coming back to them. And that last run there, I was just kind of hanging out because I knew the first two. There was no way they were going to make it because I wasn't looking good for a while, but it finally came back around. I ran out at the line.
Well, congratulations on your finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, like thank my aunt Mary Alice. I know she's out there watching. All the Black Car Mafia boys, Rick Javorka, Dean Sprinkle, and Scotty. After he had his troubles, he was in the chat. I see him in there. Appreciate them for coming out and watching us every week and cheering us on. Teammates Chris, to me, and Scotty again. They had some bad luck tonight, but we'll bounce back and hopefully get it going again next weekend with them. And you guys for broadcast and Tech for Troops for sponsoring the whole thing, and Elliot for letting me do it.
You got it. So next week we move on to the round of 10, and we wind up in Michigan. What are your thoughts on Michigan?
I have a feeling it's going to be another fuel mileage race like tonight, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not Calamity Corner, but it's got potential. But yeah, hopefully we'll just do like we did tonight, stay patient, and see how it works out at the end.
You got it. All right, there's your winner tonight. Mr. James Lowe punches a ticket through to the round of 10, and we'll start next week in Michigan. John, any closing words for tonight?
Just want to say congrats to James, an awesome race. And if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, if you're new to the channel, so you don't miss any future races. And next week, it's going to be a fun one, so don't want to miss that.
All right, folks, thanks again for tuning in and being a part of our broadcast. We couldn't do it without you, and we appreciate you stopping in, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay. We appreciate you each and every week. So thanks again from the folks here at the IWM Broadcast Network, and we'll see you next week. Good night.